Okay, this is how you differentiate an F10, a real F10 M5 and a fake one. I mean, a lot of F10s, they change to this body kit, right? Look at this folding line. This folding line that comes around here. Alright, now we're inside the car. I have to say, man, this BMW interior clearly stood the test of time. Alright, show you guys around. We're all very familiar with this architecture, right? I mean, the inlays over here and then the screen. I know this generation, they house the screen in instead of a tablet. So you have the whole, we call this the cowl, C-O-W-L, feels a lot taller, right? Because the modern ones, they trim down these sides. So these sides are lower, and then you have the screen that stands up, and then everything else is lower. So it gives you a perception of space in a way, and then the tablet and then the screen. So my 6 Series has a tablet type, whereas the 5 Series and the 7 Series of this generation, which is the F01, they were developed earlier, and they have this, the whole screen housed inside, which in retrospect, now that the whole tablet thing has gone out of style, you know, and I don't think this feels old at all. Okay, the whole basic layout is that it's just logical and fantastic. The door lock and unlock buttons, this should be the place to place it instead of having it over here like some VAG group products or new BMWs. They place it over here, and it became a spec thing, right? I mean, like VAG group, driver side you have it, passenger side on certain models you can spec it to have it, but back then BMW placed it in the middle because it makes sense, and everything makes sense in a way. Certain things that don't make sense I will explain later over here, but this is sort of like a BMW ideology kind of stuff. See, BMW has always been sort of adamant that they are a driver's car. So as a driver's car, you shouldn't be placing a lot of stuffs over here in the center dash, this whole console. You know, everything should be either inside your glove box or inside your door pockets or inside here, instead of having them littered around here, because enthusiastic driving would determine that you want all those stuffs away instead of, you know. So you look at this is a cup holder, very elegant one. You know, you lift this and then this whole thing pops up, but that leaves you with very little room to place your stuff. It was purely designed for cups, takeaway cups, you know. Yeah. And then you have no storage space all over here, and this small ashtray, some people use it to put coins, and sort of that's about it, right? At least this one doesn't have the phone holder, which used to occupy this space, you know, that silly phone holder thing that BMW used to have. And then the door pockets were minimal opening. The reason for minimal opening is that once you put the stuffs in there, you have to intentionally take them out instead of them falling out. Let's say you were driving home one day and then you decided to veer off to Laguna Seca, and then you have to do the corkscrew, you know, which drops like 2-story height in terms of the track dip. You don't want those things to fly out. But that was the old BMW ideology. Okay, now they focus a lot more on usability and space and all that. All right, now that's the steering wheel. This is the old steering wheel design, and that's the M1 button, which you can customize, and then there's an M2. So over here it has been set to, you look at these three things over here. Oops, let me focus it. Efficient, comfort, comfort. When I press M1, it goes to sport, sport, sport. M2, sport plus, sport plus, sport plus. I press M2 again to disable it, and it goes back to efficient, comfort, comfort. So with a thumb, and you can just switch it immediately. I love this. Now Audi never have this on the same generation. Audi, you know, you still have that. I mean, in the B8 you have physical buttons. In the C7 you have to go in through the manuals, which is dumb. All right, now this car is very high spec. Not only it has the powered doors. Okay, yep, it has powered doors, and it has lane keep assist. What is this? Lane change? I don't know. What does this do? System available as of 50 km/h. But it helps me to, I can't believe it will help me to steer into the next lane, right? I don't believe that, because this is too early for any driver assistance. I don't know, man. Could be, it could have, you know, lane keep assist or whatnot. Anyway, and that's the heads-up display, which is massive. When I say massive, it is massive. Wait, let me show you. Oh, look at that. From the camera it's not big, but if from the driver's vantage point, it's huge. You can even see the revs building up and the speed, right? That is totally massive, and it's so big that I find it a little bit distracting when I was driving. Okay, these are usual. This is, you know, that's the screen, and these are the touch sensitive buttons where you can preset your own radio station or other stuffs. You know, you see, number 8, engine oil level. It has been preset to engine oil level, which is pretty useful considering that you have a 4.4 V8 bi-turbo, you know, high performance engine. All right, that's the glove box, covered in felt, and I just love the spec of this car. These are super high spec seats. These are the highest spec seats you can find from BMWs. Okay, like the highest. The headrest, you have this little wing here that you can adjust to hold your head, and then this portion, look at that, this upper portion can be independently adjusted. As with this, most lower spec seats, right, the entire thing move together, but these seats are amazing. You can adjust not just this but this. All right, and I think it's extremely comfortable. Okay, perforated over here, the stitches are beautiful, and these are soft, smooth Napa leather, right? And they look great, okay, in this specification. And of course, this is the highest spec F10. These are all finished in Alcantara. The entire roof liner is Alcantara. Okay, there's a card holder over here. All right, the lights, everything just looks a little bit fancy. And this is the ultra large sunroof. I was reviewing a car the other day, and that sunroof is only as wide as from my index to my thumb. Okay, but this is like double that, and this whole thing opens up. So this is a fantastic sunroof that almost serves as half a panoramic roof. And the Alcantara headliner is just wonderful. It feels so good to touch. Right, and then these wood inlays, beautiful veneers, and then you have this aluminum strip down here, aluminum strips over up here. They're all cold to the touch. Fantastic. That's the start stop. That's to cancel off the automatic start stop. And down here you can see the gear lever is different from the usual BMWs of this era. Truth be told, I prefer that. They call it the chicken drumstick, right? I prefer that design, but then this is M specific. Okay, and this gearbox is a little bit different in terms of operation. It is a 7-speed DCT, because during this time when they were developing this, somehow the 8-speed ZF of this generation weren't able to handle the crazy amounts of torque that this car produces. 4.4 V8 bi-turbo, 560 horsepower. I believe the torque figures should be anywhere, I don't know, 700 or 650, thereabouts. Okay, to shift into drive, when you start the car, you push it to the right side and you are in drive. Okay, see, D or S, push it again, goes into manual mode. Okay, and then you can shift it yourself with the paddle shifters. These paddle shifters feel fantastic. They're metallic edges, and then towards the back there's a rubber bit. There are rubber bits towards the back, which is really nice. Here, the rubber bits. Not sure if you guys can see it. Anyway, and then to go into reverse, push to the right and up, and then you are in reverse. And then that fires up the 360 camera of this era, which they couldn't stitch it as well yet. There's a trajectory for the wheels. Okay, and then put it back to neutral. We're now in neutral. Yeah. The funny thing is, whenever you finish a drive, let's say you are in D, you park back, your car, you have stopped your car. If you switch it off while it's in D, okay, and then you will automatically go to park. But if you're in N, if you're in neutral and you switch it off, it will sort of remind you that, hey, your car is in neutral, and somehow you need to off the ignition to let it go into park for some reasons. All right, here you have the buttons to switch off the traction control. This is for the throttle response, and this is for the suspension, and this is for the steering wheel. That's for the camera. That's the parking sensors. You can off it. And this one is to what degree you want the car to let you have fun, in terms of the gearbox shifting. So let's go into drive and press up. See that? How crazy you want it to be. That will be the button. A lot of settings. Okay. And yeah, and the steering wheel, carbon fiber down here, Alcantara over here, and a little red spot over here. I'm not sure if these are stock standard or some add-on specifications or something. All right, so that's where the tweeters are. Speakers, memory seats, somehow they're over here, and over here that's the sunroof control, the lights. Yep. Okay, let's go to the rear seats. Now it's a lot darker back here because the sunroof only covers the front half, and over the back here is a swath of Alcantara, and this larger, rather huge contraption just for lights cannot be, right? Somehow that's how it is. Okay, let's have a look back here. These seats are really, really nice and comfortable, and I would say it's not that smaller compared to the new G30. Now you may notice that I am sitting a lot lower than this over here. This would be what I consider a normal sitting position in this car, and these seats are huge. Look at them, and the proximity with the roof. Okay, because I love seats that allow me to adjust really low, and then I have enough room for my size 11.5 feet, and the center tunnel is huge. It's just massive. Okay, so you can expect sitting in the middle or crossing over, it's no easy task. Okay, the aircon vents over here, aircon vents over here, some really nice handles, and these are not the sticky plastic type. Okay, these are proper plastics at the back here, and then leather wrap, really beautiful stitching and beautiful finishing, solid aluminum single piece door handles. Here we have the blinds, all right, the rollers, and we even have this. This is another small touch of sophistication, I would say. You know, they make this panel larger, and you can pull this blind to the back. The window openings are not big, you know, but I'm fine with that. And somehow BMWs of this era, you have this little thing there. This is a hook for your coat, a blazer or sweater or whatever. All right, and over here, this is the armrest at the back. Okay, that's the cup holders, and there's a little compartment over here. I mean, I love seeing this kind of stuff in the premium car. What I hate seeing in the premium car is you pull the center armrest down and it's just two holes there. They're not broken, they make this kind of sound. Okay, so see the high quality interior of the F10 generation or F12, F13, or even F01, you know, means that 10 years down the road, the whole interior just doesn't feel old at all. You know, the finishing, the quality materials, I mean, it's just, of course, I mean, you need to take care of them, but it stood the test of time. All right, dual zone climate control at the back, I forgot to mention that. I just love these seats. These seats are amazing. The plethora of controls you have. Oh dear, it has the child lock. Oh dear, I am stuck. I am royally stuck. Let me figure this out. I can load. Okay, and I can open the windows. This is embarrassing, and I can open it from outside. Okay, so that's how you save yourself if you ever got stuck because of child lock. Okay, let me switch off the car. Okay, look at the controls that I have. All right, look at how the angle for this back can be adjusted. I just love these seats, and this one is to adjust the upper back. See that? It's not the whole seat adjusting, it's just the upper part. I just love it. Okay, all this is the highest spec seats you can get. from BMW. Now let's take a look at the exterior, shall we? Can I just say that the F10 is still the most beautiful 5 Series? Alright, I think it stood the test of time better. It will stand the test of time better than yeah, I'll say G30. Even with the G30 now having the facelift, I think this generation 5 Series is the best looking 5 Series ever. Okay, now let's have a look at the front. See, we don't have all the weird contraption, you know, like grills that open and close. I mean, they're just gonna break in time, right? And I think this grill is just super good looking. This paint is called Singapore Grey, and it's a very, very nice color. On one glance, you thought it's black, but then in person, you know, it's a super dark gray. Okay, there's a little camera over here. This era's BMW, they have this camera over here is for, I mean, I have that in my 6 Series as well. When you're coming out of a junction, you can operate it and it helps you see the road ahead. Now a lot of M5s, they have this side grills is in silver color, and I think in body matching color is really, really nice and classy. Okay, because this indicator stands out enough, and I think this one finishing in black, gloss black or body color is actually really nice. Okay, subtle. Huge wheels, of course, 20-inch, and these rims are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Very low key, very, very low key. Oh, sorry, a lot of car parts and stuffs. All right. Yep. Let's go for a drive. The way it shakes to life. Very nice. Right, let's go for a short drive. Short drive, because I've did a Genting run on this car. For those not from Malaysia, Genting run means a mountain road run, so that will be, I guess, a separate video. Okay, so yep, let's do daily drive on this one, since I'm around my neighborhood roads. To be honest, this dual clutch, this DCT, feels a lot more like a very, very, very good SMG. Okay, we all know the SMG is the single clutch automated manual. This, you can call this the double clutch automated manual, because the way it functions or the way it operates is very much like a SMG, except that it's a lot more smoother once you're on the get-go. Alright, if you're parked at a slope, yeah, there are times when you will feel that you need to confidently step on your throttle, for if not, you may roll behind a little bit, you may roll back a little bit. Alright. put on your indicators. You don't value your life? I value my friend's car. Oh, we're in Sport Plus mode, but it's so easy to drive. Okay, we're back to efficient, comfort, and comfort. Suspension is alright. Don't forget, this is a 10-year-old car. Okay, this is a 10-year-old car. I just love the smoothness of this engine. It's, again, cliche, effortless, but I can draw a direct comparison with my Audi RS6 4-litre V8 bi-turbo. Now that car is quieter than this, higher quality interior than this, and that one has air suspension, so you have a certain ride quality to that car. But when it comes to how the power is being delivered, the way BMW tuned this 4.4 V8 turbo and paired it together with this DCT, right? They actually wanted to replicate the feeling of driving a naturally aspirated car. It will in no way directly replicate that of a proper big engine naturally aspirated car, but when I draw a comparison with how my 4-litre V8 bi-turbo functions or delivers power versus this one is a lot more smoother. There is less of a distinction whereby you can totally tell this is the point where the power will come in and then it goes bonkers. This one, however, has a very nice build. When your car, especially a big turbocharged engine car, is able to deliver power in a surge that is linear, it gives you a lot more confidence to push the car. Where opposed, certain cars, like my RS6, is like, okay, you want more power? There you go! BOOM! Oh my god, and that is really scary, right? And this one is a nice build. It is a very nice build. Even though I can see the traction control lights turning on just now as the power goes out, but it's a nice surge. It's not a step whereby everything just explodes after that. So I find myself in daily drive being able to accelerate more than my Audi, because my Audi is, you put your foot down, there's a longer wait than this one, and then it just explodes and it's just too much. Whereas this one, even though my foot steps on that much, let's say I step on the throttle pedal, let's say I go 70% on my throttle pedal, the power that comes is a nice surge instead of an explosion, and that is good. It's good for daily use, for owning the car, but it won't do BMW a favor if someone back in 2013 or 14 is walking into Audi showrooms and test drove an RS6 and then go and test drive an F10 M5 after that, because the immediate sensation would be, hey, this car doesn't feel as powerful as the RS6. That would be the conclusion, because during test drives in showrooms, those of you who've done test drive in showrooms, you will know whether you are test driving an MPV or an SUV, somehow the salesman and you yourself just wants to go full throttle every single time. Right. Oh, another thing I need to point out, the turning circle of this car. I mean, this is not... this car, amazingly, has a very large turning circle. It's huge. And it's, for anyone familiar with BMWs or Mercedes-Benz, you will not believe that, or you would think that, what's going on. Is this a four-wheel drive, full-time four-wheel drive? Because for those of you who know, if your car has full-time four-wheel drive, your front wheels aren't able to point as extreme an angle as a rear-wheel drive car, all right? And somehow, from what I heard, because I mean, we have a lot of friends who own the F10 M5, right? In the facelift competition spec, they fixed this. Basically, they gave it the tight turning circle that rear-wheel drive premium cars like BMW or Mercedes-Benzes were known for. But in this one, this is just, if you have an F10, you'll be asking, is this an X-Drive? Is this a full-time four-wheel drive? Because the turning circle is huge. Maybe BMW wants you to complete your tight turns with the traction control off, so that you give it a little bit of a throttle, and then it just swings the car around. Yeah, that's the G30. Good looking car, but I think 10 years down the road, I think this car will still stand the test of time in terms of design. And in terms of size, you can hardly separate that and this. But in terms of sensation, yes, the F10 feels heavy, prestigious, or heft. It has that heft, the kind of heft that a luxury item should have. The F10 still has that feeling. The G30 has a sense of lightness to it. You feel the whole car is a lot lighter than this, a lot more agile than this. So that's the sensation in the G30. Alright, I kind of miss how German cars, I mean, this car still have that very Germanic feel of what I mentioned earlier on, heft. Okay, so am I still in, oh, I'm still in M2 mode. Can I make the gearbox a little bit more extreme? Level 3, I guess it will hold the gears a lot more aggressive. Oh, it downshifts aggressively. Boom. Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. I love the sound that this car makes more than my RS6. My RS6 is just a deep hum. This one, you can hear the revs. You can hear that. And it sounds better. See, I can hear the engine revving. I like that. Ooh, very aggressive transmission. Just holds it in second gear. Attack mode, full on attack mode. Lighting up the traction control at 35 km/h. Put it back down one step. So there are 3 steps to choose from. So these are really the kind of car whereby after you own it, you have even up to 6 months or 1 year of learning curve of fiddling with it to know which mode your driving skills or your choice is more suited for, you know. So it's nice. Turn it off and it's back to efficient comfort. I knew that this guy has been driving weirdly, so trying to find some illegal parking space. Over his lady. Go ahead. So thank you to my friend Nicholas, who let me drive this car on a mountain run, you know, doing this video. And in all sense of courtesy, when we use some, you know, when we use our friend's car, we should return them some favor, right? Not that they asked for it. Gonna fill it back up with a proper juicy tank of Shell V Power Racing, and and maybe I'll reload his touch and go card because I've been using it this morning, and then send it to Evo Club Car Wash and give it a good wash and send it back to him. Yeah. The good thing with Evo Club Car Wash is that they're able to send, they're able to pick up and deliver your car wherever you are. All right. They will, of course, they charge you, but it's an external service. And whatever the service charges them, they charge you, and that's a real convenience because wherever you may be, Shah Alam, you know, Rawang or Selayang, and just contact them. They'll be able to pick up your car, get it clean, thoroughly clean, check your car thoroughly. You know, if they found your tire pressures are not enough, they'll fill it back up for you. They'll check your coolant levels and all that. They will check all these things, and then once they're done cleaning your car, send it back to you. That's convenience. All right. Like these car wash, you have to drive your car here and you sit here for an hour. That's an hour of your life wasted. Okay, let's give it a proper fill up. Okay, I don't think my turning circle can do a U-turn over there, so I better turn here. Oh, a lot of people filling up their tires. Careful, careful. In case another car turns up from here. Okay. Some red, juicy V-Power racing. Alright. There we go. Hello. Thank you. The inconvenience now of refueling, I think they should update the kiosk, right? I mean, you swipe your card and the maximum approved limit is 200 ringgit, and that's not enough. Alright, let's fire up. Okay. And the touch and go reload system faulty. Anyway, lovely car. Let me on the aircon seats. Oh, it's a hot day out there. Oh, one thing I missed out when I was videoing the exterior. A real M5, I mean a lot of F10s out there, they change to M5 body kits, right? Now, M5, the F10 M5 has wide body, but it's not super duper obvious. So in order to know whether it's a real M5, because of the wide body, the way the bumpers lined up to the fenders are actually different in the M5. In the M5, the bumper line goes straight horizontal out, whereas the regular F10 M5, the bumper line goes up. Yeah, that's the difference. Okay, so those of you out there, if you've ever been considering or dreaming to own a BMW M5 F10, do it now. This year is the last year to get a bank loan on these, and they are fantastic cars and they will hold their value in times to come. Yes, 4.4 liter means your road tax is gonna be about 8,000 ringgit, but think about it this way. If you spend 200,000 to buy let's say a Camry, right, in 10 years time, will you depreciate 80,000? Definitely more than that, right? You will depreciate more than 80,000. But in 10 years of paying the road tax of this car, which amounts to 80,000 as well, will your car depreciate by 80,000? No, it won't. That's the difference. Alright, now if you buy a 550i, you know, a BMW F10 550i, which has the same 4.4 liter V8 bi-turbo as this car, that will depreciate to, you know, 80,000, 90,000, you know. But that one has its merits as well, because that has a torque converter. So a torque converter would maybe probably slightly better in daily driving, but I see this DCT is so well calibrated for daily use. Okay, and you can do low speed creeping without that shaky behavior that VAG Group 7-speed dual clutch has. But of course, the VAG 7-speed dual clutch is a little bit better when it comes to on parking slopes and all that, just a little bit. So yeah, this is a fantastic car. Think of it this way: it's luxurious, it is comfortable, and it is fast. It is, you know, you can go weekend drives with car groups, and then of course you get invited to M gatherings, you know. Yeah, or M Sport Day and all that. Track Day, sorry. M Cars Track Day. Yep. You have more horsepower than the Nissan GTR there. That one has 480. This one has 560 horsepower. A lot. And you get to seat 4, and you go under the radar because it's so inconspicuous, right? It's like it's stealth. It is stealth. It is even more stealthier than the RS6. The RS6 has a lot of stuff going on in the car that tells you, I am special! Look at me! I am special! Whereas this F10 M5 is just confident, you know. And I like the V8 rumble. Yeah. It's not as comfortable as the RS6. Can you guys see it? Yeah. It is not as comfortable as that. It is not as fast as that. Okay, but it sounds better. It delivers power in a more linear fashion. And I find myself willing to use this car's power on daily drives to do overtakes than that one. That one, every single time, I mean, that's my wife's daily driver, and if every single time I want to put my foot down to overtake a car, I am considering the over delivery of power that causes discomfort to my passengers in the car. That happens always. This one, linear and gradual acceleration at a fast rate. Okay, so I find myself using more than half the throttle more than that one, and yeah, and I appreciate that. Right? Not as sporty as I expected it to be. I mean, I've driven this car at Sepang during the launch like 10 years ago. It's a far cry from M3s. I think it's the same as RS6 as well. It's a far cry from the RS4s and all that. Those are sportier, tighter, more compact. And in this segment, the comfort, the daily usability takes precedence over the sporting capabilities, because these cars are huge. Alright, and these are meant for really cross-continental driving, grand touring kind of driving, like really high-speed cruising, carrying the family in total comfort. Right? Cheers. And look at that. Very nice, huh? M5. Okay, this is how you differentiate an F10, a real F10 M5 and a fake one. I mean, a lot of F10s, they change to this body kit, right? Look at this folding line. This folding line that comes around here. Because on the F10, it has a wide body, so this line actually goes out sideways. It actually goes out here. Okay, whereas on a non-M5 F10, this line actually goes into the headlamp. It folds into the headlamp, and then on an M5, this line goes out here. Okay, that's how you tell an M5 with wide body versus one that doesn't. Maybe from the top is more obvious. Goes out to the side instead of this line goes in here on a non-wide body. Right? What a beautiful car this is. Considering the fact that now this car costs more or less the same as the Camry over there.